Well, hello everyone. My name is Jasmine Shaw. I'm the Director for School Facilities. And joining me is Darius Williams. And Darius, you can introduce yourself.
I'm Darius Williams. I'm the program coordinator for OSF. I've been with OSF going on a year next month. I'm quite sure I've dealt with all of you at some point, whether it was via email or phone, but I'm responsible for the project management portion of the portal as well as the registration and renewal of the Chapter 1 program for OSF. I handle all the projects that's coming in and kind of keep those organized and um, so that we can get them assigned out. But like I said, I'm quite sure I've dealt with all of you. Anything dealing with the portal, if you have any questions or concerns or the chapter one portion or anything dealing with the portal, you're welcome to shoot me an email or reach out to me and I'll help you the best I can.
Thank you, Darius. Well, we are both excited to present to you our new school facilities portal. It's a one stop shop for both the districts, Chapter 1 inspectors, design professionals, and even other state agencies to get a real time view of the projects that we have within our office and regarding their status. As you may know, this particular application is made up of four parts, and we are implementing the first part of the application, which is related to our Chapter 1 inspector certification process. At this time, I will go over the first time user instructions. Many of you have already been through this part of the process, but I will share with you how to go about going through the application. But first, what is a Chapter 1 inspector and what is the program? So it is a 2-year agreement that our office have with certified licensed labor and licensing regulation, building officials and inspectors. And these particular inspectors are recognized as being approved to inspect public schools within South Carolina. There must be a 5-year of experience required, and there are other requirements as well. To learn more about the Chapter 1 program or to become a Chapter 1 inspector, I will now share with you how to get to that location on our website for more information. You will go to ed.sc.gov, districts and schools, and click on school planning and building. That will take you to our homepage. The school facility inspector program section is fully dedicated to the inspector. The very first bullet, which is titled Chapter 1 and 17 School Facility Inspections. It will later be titled Program Requirements. And if you are interested in being a Chapter 1 inspector or once again learning about it, the program, if you click on that first bullet, it will take you to the OSF Inspection Program Manual. And there you will learn more about the program as a whole. So if you are a first time user of the application, you will want to click on Instructions, and that will take you to the instructions that we have available for you. If you're a first time user, you will follow the first item, which is first time user instructions. If you are renewing your instructions within our application, you will follow the renewal process. So I will click on first time user instructions, and here it will take you step by step as to what you need to do in order to apply to become an inspector with OSF. Many of you have already created what's called your community account within the application. So at this time, I'm going to take you step by step through the first time user instructions. So once again, I'm going to revisit our homepage. First thing you want to do is go to the application on our website. You would click on Chapter 1 Inspector Application. It will take you to a fully electronic version of the application. And here you want to enter in your name, your first and last, your email address. Now, what's very important about your email address, it has to be the email address that's assigned to you. It cannot be a company email address. And the reason being is that if anyone else within your company want to become a Chapter 1 inspector, they cannot use that same email address that you've used. So it has to be specific to the actual individual. The next part would be your firm, all the contact information, and here is where you would select your credentials as you are registered through LLR for South Carolina. You would check if you have a Master Code professional certificate, certified building inspector or official, and if you have any of the following individual inspections or inspector certifications below. Now, you'll see an expiration date, and many of you have entered the expiration date on your license. This whole section is actually going to go away in the future because the date that we use, since it is a 2-year agreement, we will use the date that we receive your check. Many of you are accustomed for us using the date that's on the memorandum of understanding. But in some cases, we received the memorandum of understanding, but we have not received the check. So I'm just kind of giving you a heads up or a future notice that this section will be going away. And so when you come to this page, all you have to do is select what you are certified in at that time. So once you select what you're certified in, like I said up front, this is just to get into our system. You would then have to email us at schoolfacilities@ed.sc.gov your resume, your certification, your signed memorandum of understanding to that email address. And so we will do everything we need to do on our end after we receive your information. So I'm going to switch back over to the instructions. Once you complete the application, you will get a message that says, "Thank you, your application was submitted successfully to the Office of School Facilities." You will have then already provided your resume, your certification, and your signed memorandum of understanding. Once our office receives it, we'll review your application. If we have any questions, we will email you regarding those questions that we have on your application. At that point, we would either approve your application or we would reject your application if you don't meet the qualifications. Um, once we approve your credentials, you'll receive an email saying to submit your check to us. Now, at this time, we do not have an online payment method, but we will be looking into having one available for the inspectors to pay for your fee online. So since we do not have it currently available, you would just mail your check to this address, to myself, to the address listed in the instructions. And one of the things what we wanted to do, we noticed that we've received a lot of questions about, well, how much do we send to OSF? Just kind of wasn't sure. So we put in here an example of a payment schedule. If you are a new applicant or if you are coming up for your renewal period, we consider that open enrollment time. So we have one flat fee of $40 that you pay, just that one-time fee for however many credentials that you have associated with the program. And so that's part one. Now, once you have renewed your application and you are now within your 2-year window, if you get another application within that time frame and you're not up for renewal, we're in step 2, which is for each individual category is a $25 fee. So if you didn't have electrical and now you have electrical, if you didn't have plumbing and now you have plumbing, the total of that will be $50. Okay. Um, so once again, once we receive your check in the mail, we will then hit the button on our end that says we received your payment, and that's when the clock then starts regarding your next 2-year window. Creating your community account. So this is very important. This is how our IT department recognizes that you are who you say you are. So I will step through that process as to how to create your community account. And many of you that's already in our webinar today have already created your community account, but if you haven't, I will show you how to do so. So the first thing you want to do is go to ed.sc.gov. Over in the right-hand corner, you'll see a login button. You'll click on that. Our agency is currently updating our applications. If you look at the bottom left-hand corner where it says proceed to application web portal login, that's exactly what you want to select. Now, I will say if you get an error message and you're in, say, for example, Microsoft Edge, I would switch over to Google Chrome because I've seen where that has worked for some people and vice versa. If you're in Google Chrome and you get an error, if you maybe switch over to the Microsoft Edge or Internet Explorer, it should work out for you. So I'm going to log in, or excuse me, actually, what you would want to do in order to create your community account, you would go here where it says don't have an account. Well, let's create it. So we'll click the create button. Okay. And so the type of account that you would want to set up is called a community account. And so I'm going to click that. All right. And so we are here. And so this is very basic information, your first name, your last name. Once again, for your email address, you want to use the same email address that you use in your application for the previous step that we just did. Everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. You would select I'm not a robot, and then you would click create an account, your account. Right. So I am at the last part of this page. So once you create your account, you will receive a temporary password within 24 hours, or else you would have to register again. So keep that in mind. And also, once you create your account and you log in, if you could please email Darius Williams at dswilliams@ed.sc.gov, that tells him that you have registered, and now he can tell IT to make sure you get the school facility portal added to your profile. So that's how we make those connections. So now that I've went over first time user application, community account, now we will go over how to renew, or I would say those inspectors that are within the system and that are well seasoned and want to update their credentials. So I will log in as a Chapter 1 inspector, so I will see what you see. So let me log in. Okay, so once again, you would go to ed.sc.gov. In the top right-hand corner, you would select Login. And at the bottom left, proceed to Application Web Portal Login. And you would use your username and password. So I'm just using a generic username and password here. Okay, so I have a lot more applications than you will see, but your screen will look a little bit different than mine. Under applications, you will see school facility portal, and that's the portal that you want to use. So let's go to school facilities portal. Let's make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. Okay, so as a Chapter 1 inspector, you will see 3 tabs. The first tab is our homepage. It's welcome to the school facility system, and it provides our mission statement. The second is the project management tab, and I'll talk more about this tab, but this particular tab is all of the projects that you have assigned to you, and it's only the projects that are assigned to you as a Chapter 1 inspector within our application. The inspector management tab is your actual credentials. And so let's just see. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so I know what I did. I know what I did wrong on my part. So it is correct in to school facilities portal, but because we're testing, we have a test site that I actually want to use in order to share with you the information. So let me go to the test site. when you use the application, you will be actually logging in for School Facilities Portal. Okay, so under training, I'm going to use this for training purposes, but when you log in for your credentials and to see the projects that you have been assigned, you would log in to School Facilities Portal up under applications. Just wanted to clarify that. Okay. Okay, so under Inspector Management, you will select your name and it will pull up your application. And many of you may have already went into the application to see what we have in our system. Focus on the status. This particular inspector has been through the full process and they have been approved. We received their check, and so they're active on our list. You will see inspector info. There's an edit button. You can select the edit button and you are able to update your firm name, your address, your city and state, your phone number, and hit save. But the areas that are grayed, if you want to update your name or if you want to update your you would have to contact the Office of School Facilities, which is a note here. And so you could just reach out to us and let us know the type of change you would want to make, and then we'll make that connection with our IT department to get that change made for you. But I wanted to show you that you can edit your information. So you will also see your categories listed. Okay. So if you are renewing, all you have to do, you no longer have to mail us your physical hard copy application every day. Everything is done within the application itself. The only thing that you would have to mail is your check. And so if you wanted to go in and say it's your open enrollment time, you are already a building inspector, you already have the mechanical inspector. All you have to go in is go to the update button. It will give you a window. You can, type in your certification. You can put in whatever date you want to, that's on the certificate. And then you would just upload your LLR certificate. I'm going to upload a random document, but if you go to LLR and you do your license lookup, that's the license that we're looking to have to be updated. I'm just going to update a random document. Okay. And if I select building inspector, my document, my credentials would show, but since I updated a random file, that's what's showing at this time. Okay, so say it's open enrollment and you already have a building inspector, you already have mechanical, but you just got electrical, and it's your open enrollment. So you can add a category. You would just select add new, and you would select from the drop down list electrical. Okay, once again, I'm just picking random values here, but essentially what I'm doing is adding my electrical inspector credential. You would click the add button and then it will add it to your profile. And so now you'll see your electrical certification. The next thing you'll do is delete your previous resume. And if you try to upload a resume, it's going to say delete the existing one in order to upload a new one. So you want to delete this resume. Okay, and then you want to upload a new one. So this part is pretty self-explanatory. You would hit browse, you would hit upload, and then you should then see your resume here. And the system does a day and time stamp of when the resume was uploaded. For your memorandum of understanding, I will now show you how to get to the memorandum of understanding on our website. So you would go to our homepage, ed.sc.gov, districts and schools, school planning and building. And under the inspectors program section, right on our homepage is memorandum of understanding. And so this is how you would just, take this document and you would sign it, save it to your computer, and then you would select this upload button, and then we'll say memo, give it a name. We'll browse and look for it, and then we'll upload the memorandum. Okay. All right, so once you've updated all your information, you will select the request renewal to send it to the Office of School Facilities to renew your application. Your application has been submitted for renewal. We will get your application within our system, and then, we will go through all the same steps that we went through before. We would look at your application, look at your credentials, make sure you are registered with South Carolina Licensing, Labor, and Regulations Department, and then we will approve your application. You will then get an email saying that, now it's time to submit your check, and then the process starts all over again. So this is where all of the inspector management credentials are housed. All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and renew this particular credential as the OSF director, because it looks like I'm not able to show you the project management part without doing so. So it looks like that the inspector will not be able to see their projects if they're not have went through the OSF renewal process. So now you kind of get a chance to see what I see on my end. Let's see here. Renewal. Okay, so this is what I see as director. I see that I received the renewal application that came into the office. I will go in and, well, actually, Darius will go in and make sure that all of the documentation is present, the resume, the signed memorandum. He will notify me that it's ready for review. That's when I come in and I look at each credential, and then I approve them individually. So those are the emails that you all were receiving with individual approvals. So I'm kind of going through now and approving them individually. And you will constantly get email notifications letting you know that we've approved them individually. And then I will select this button that says approve for fee. And I'll hit approve for fee. And so Darius, if you can log in, and then you would select the approve fee received. Okay, so while Darius is logging in and he'll select that button, I'm just going to show you an email that you will receive to your email account. It says your application has been approved. Please submit a check for the appropriate application type to complete your inspection application. And it has the information as to where to send your check to, and also the payment schedule fee, just as a reminder of what that looks like. So you're constantly getting notified and up to date as to the status of the application. So Darius, once you select that, and I'm in the training module, by the way.
Okay, yes, I'm currently signing into the module. It's kind of clocking right now, but I'm on my way.
Okay. So while he's doing that, you notice that the status is now pending.
And we're working with Inspector One, correct?
That's correct. It's
Oh,
in the pending folder or
okay,
tab.
I'm on my way.
Okay, so I'm actually logged in as a Chapter 1 inspector, and if you notice, the status says pending. So you are constantly reminded of the status of your application throughout the whole process.
Okay, I've just selected the fee received.
Okay, so I'm going to refresh my page, and you notice how the status changed to approved. So that's how you know that you are in the system, you are renewed, and you are good to go for the next 2 years. So how does the inspector management tab play a role in projects and school renovation projects? So like I mentioned earlier, as a Chapter 1 inspector, you can only see the projects that you are assigned to within the application. Earlier today, our team played around with a couple of projects, and so that's what you see, all the projects that we've worked on earlier today. I'm going to go into HVAC update. Excuse me. Let's go into group restroom renovation. It's Bates Middle School. It has a random address. This is all, it's not real, it's just training purposes. So you have been assigned as a Chapter 1 inspector, group restroom renovations for Bates Middle School. So if I click on that particular renovation project, it takes me to this page here. And from top to bottom is everything about Bates Middle School. It has its own property ID number. It has its own reference number. And this particular reference number is just saying that this was the ninth project that OSF has received in the history of this application existing. Now, of course, we're in test mode, but then once we get into live mode with everyone using the application, I just wanted to, give you an update as to what that number means. So we're at Bates Middle School. They have a group restroom renovation. It's a level 2 renovation. This was the date that it was created, which was earlier today, and the project is under construction. Okay, that's what that information is saying. You also have the ability to email OSF through the application itself. And if you just wanted to say hi or um, let's talk about a project, whatever you want to say, you hit the send button, and the person down here that says OSF contact, that's who's going to receive it. So right now, David Blackwell, who works in our office, is assigned this project as the OSF reviewer. And so he will receive the message on his end regarding what you've sent. Okay. This like a chat box. Um, if you go down further, you will see who the district contact person is at the district level. You will see the design firm and who the project is assigned to with the design firm, and then once again the OSF contact person, and all of their information. You will also see that this will be revised to say Chapter 1 and not Chapter 1/Chapter 17. But you will see your name listed here. And right for the info button, if you select the info button, it will let you know all of the credentials that we saw on that other tab of what you're actually certified in. Okay, so that's how those two tabs relate to each other. All right, and let's see. So you will see these other areas below, um, such as select Chapter 1 inspector. You're not able to select yourself. The other people that have access to the program, such as the district and the design professional, they are the ones that actually have the ability to go in and select a Chapter 1 inspector. Um, However, you are able to view plans and specifications. So Of course, the biggest question that we always get in the field is, are these the plans that OSF has accepted and approved? And so that question goes away because now you have access to the application. You can see all of the files that have been submitted back and forth between us and the design professional, and the one that's going to be the final stamp plans from our office is going to say OSF final review. Right now you see one that says initial review, but the one that's the final one will be OSF final review. And then if you click the view file button, it will take you to, a document um, for the plans. So also, you notice that you're not able to upload in this section. So just you're able to view only. You can also see that a building permit was issued. So I'm going to select building permit, and everything is grayed out, but you are able to click the print building permit button. So I'm going to go ahead and print that, and then I'm going to pull up the building permit and let you see what it looks like. We are still working through a few items. We noticed that the disclaimer is not on the bottom footer of the building permit, so we're working with our PMO group to make some changes here. But the biggest part is that you're able to see the building permit for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Um, Once again, for any permits that the design professional wants to upload, they can upload them here. Any addenda, bid phase documents, any change orders, requests for information, all of that's done by the design professional, but you do have the ability to view it. Um, the OSF inspections, once again, you'll have the opportunity to view when the design professional has requested for OSF to come out and do the inspection. And also, this section here is for you. This is the only section that you have to upload your third-party inspector report. Now, what I will say is that you are not required to upload your third-party inspector report. You can remain what you're doing already, which is giving it to the design professional, and they can upload it in that third-party inspection area. But what I will say is that you have the option to do it, okay? And so we have allowed the system to do that for you. And so you would select your inspector's category. I think some of the inspections are done based on how you break out your report. The scope of the inspection, doesn't put HVAC. I'm just making up a few things here. And then the date that the inspection happened, of course, would be a previous date or today's date. So let's just say today's date. And then, the design professional or you um, can put that it passed or failed. We'll say it passed. Let's see. Yeah, we'll say it passed and we'll hit submit. And so down here we'll see mechanical, HVAC, it passed, and we can view that file. All right, let's do electrical and say we did electrical. And then I'm just typing fire. And then I'll say we did the fire alarm, say we did that Monday, the 5th, and that failed. We'll hit fail. And the reason was that the fire alarm control panel, let's see, it just, yeah, it crashed. All right, so we go ahead and submit that. And then now we have a status of that it failed. And then there's a resolved discrepancy, and say we noticed it on the 5th, but then they corrected it on the 8th. They replaced the panel. We'll hit submit. And of course, you have the option to upload anything here. Once again, design professional. Let's go back to the third-party inspector section and chapter 1 inspections. And then here we saw that there was a discrepancy, it crashed, they've replaced the panel, and the date that it was corrected was the 8th. The date of the inspection was the 5th. So it gives you the kind of it gives you the flexibility to add in information into this project. Like I said before, this is the only section that the inspector has to actually provide input on the project. I will get more information as to whether or not we can have multiple Chapter 1 inspectors assigned to one project, because I do understand that multiple inspectors will work on a project at one time. So I will definitely get back in touch with you regarding that. That will be a feature, if not already exists, will be added to this particular software. So I've covered first-time user applications, how to create your community account, how to view your application, and how to look at projects and interact with the project management tab. And that's it. That's the Chapter 1 inspector piece. I want to thank you for allowing us to share with you this information, and we'll close out the recording at this time, but please stay on the line for the webinar.